If you're addicted to junk food and deep down, you know you're capable of far more than this, and you know that processed food is holding you back from what you're actually capable of, your real potential, but you can't quite quit the habit. Despite trying over and over, you just can't manage to break it. But don't worry, I've been where you are. I completely doubted myself. I doubted I could quit. And every time I failed, feelings of shame and guilt would just bubble up to the surface and feel overwhelming, making every attempt after that much harder. And this video is going to give you the solution that you've been looking for, coming from someone who's actually done what you're trying to fucking do. First off, I want you to understand a bit of a mindset thing. I want you to understand it's not really your fault. Your repeated failings in the past, it doesn't define who you are now, and that if you take responsibility, you will be able to quit the habit. And I want you to understand it's likely not even your fault in the first place. You just have been misled and you have false information and are up against ridiculous odds. Honestly, there's nothing wrong with you. It's not your fault. You've basically been set up to fail by greedy corporations and scientists whose entire purpose is to make junk food, processed food, as addictive as possible. Those scientists, their entire goal is to make it as addictive as possible. And then those greedy corporations, their entire purpose is to make a profit from you. It's to exploit and make a profit from you. Sorry to say, who do you think is going to win? Your willpower or billion-dollar corporations whose entire sole fucking purpose is to exploit you? The companies actually make the food more addictive by hijacking your brain's reward system. There's so much more to this. It's a giant ass rabbit hole if you do decide to dive down into it. But I just want to give a few examples. Some processed ingredients sucralose and high fructose corn syrup, they activate neurological pathways in your brain. Honestly, it's kind of like a drug addiction. It literally creates a mild but a dependency on these chemicals, so that your brain will want to keep coming back over and over again because it literally depends on these chemicals. UPFs, or ultra processed food, they actually flood your brain with dopamine. Dopamine is basically the feel chemical that makes you feel pleasure. And natural food, whole food, fruit, vegetables, meat, doesn't give you this dopamine from it. But ultra-processed food literally makes you feel good, gives you that chemical dopamine just by eating it. Again, making you more dependent on it for your happiness and making you want to keep coming back to it, resulting in your brain actually craving this food even if you're not actually hungry. Because why would you not want to feel good? Your brain craves dopamine. It's just how it fucking works. Now, food companies and those scientists I mentioned earlier, they literally test how the brain responds with scientific instruments like the biometric scanner and brain imaging to actually see how neurologically the brain actually handles taking in new food. And then they take this information and then make the food as addictive as possible to your brain. Literally tweaking the food to be as biologically, neurologically, every word under the sun to be as addictive to us as possible. Can you see how, and this is just 3 points, can you see how all of these combined makes the food as addictive as possible and gives you the worst possible chance of actually not being addicted to it? Now, if you're anything like me, finding out these 3 things, and again, there's so much more to it, actually pisses you off because you're being taken advantage of and it's just fucking ridiculous. And then combine this with, you already know that there's so many health risks and other downsides to your life. And now these fucking companies are just making a profit from me, a profit from my suffering. If you're like me, this fucking pisses you off, and it should. I want you to remember this feeling and use it as motivation when quitting processed food, because you're just if you think of it motherfucker, I'm not letting them win. I'm fucking better than that. I'm not letting them make a profit from me. I'm not a fucking bitch. If you think like that, you're going to be much more likely to quit. So now with this little mindset and understanding this, plus you have me who's actually done the thing you're trying to do, giving you advice on how to quit, you stand a much better chance on actually quitting. And now there's another mindset that I need you to adopt. I need you to take full responsibility. Yes, in the past, false information, set up to fail, victim, sure. Now, you're in full control, it's your fault. If you binge, it's your fault. You need to take absolute radical responsibility for your life. Because the times in my life where I've made the most change is where I have full control over the situation. And I'm just like, what can I do? Motherfucker, that's outside of my control. Okay, what can I do? I'm in full control here. If you give up control to these companies, you're just going to give up. And if you actually want to quit bad habits, make the progress you want, acknowledge what's happening, and take responsibility. Your ego, and it might feel hard to do it first, the more you take responsibility, the more control you will feel, the more progress you will make. So it all starts with taking responsibility. So now for the first actual tangible strategy that you can do, I want you to not go cold turkey on quitting your bad habits. In the past, I've tried to quit porn and failed multiple times. Why? Because I've tried to go cold turkey. I've literally had a few days, don't watch porn, and then a few days later, urge starts coming up. I defeat it a few times, and then within a week, the urge is too strong, I give up, and I fail. Now I have the evidence, I'm a failure, failed in the past. Now next time I try to quit, it's going to be harder. So to prevent this in the first place, I need to explain something. So progressive overload is a gym term used to describe basic progression. You wouldn't go walk into the gym expecting to bench 140 kilos. You just start with the bar and then slowly progress from there. 20 kilos, 22.5, 25, 27.5. It's basically slowly getting stronger while letting your muscles actually acclimate. It's just getting stronger over time and not jumping full gun into a weight your body physically can't handle. How do you think we're going to use that in quitting bad habits? I'll give you a second to think about it. Okay, well, I want you to figure out what your worst junk food is right now. What's the worst food that you consume that contributes to you being overweight, or just the worst food? Think of it, and we're going to take that out. Because by taking one food out at a time, we want to slowly take ultra-processed food, and we need to slowly quit the bad habit. Because otherwise, our bodies are just going to scream at us, and we're not going to be able to quit. Cold turkey just doesn't work for 99% of people. So we need to take it slowly, and the best method I've found is to just cut out the worst food right now, and then replace it with some sort of whole food. So if, say, noodles, you have noodles every day, you know it's shit. Okay, let's replace that with some sort of new whole food. And then let's let a few weeks pass by so that now that is habit, it's ingrained, and it's just how things are now. You could replace noodles with, eggs. You could cook some eggs. Way better alternative. And now your ultra-processed food is out, and you'll start. As a result, you'll even start feeling slightly better from that. Gain some motivation. Okay, quit one bad food. Now, let's quit another. It's like going from your diet's 100% processed food. Now, it's 95. A few weeks, now it's tangible progress. And there's zero chance of you actually reverting. This is the way that you have to quit bad habits. And actually make it stick. And the thing is, your ego might be bypassing any logical sense right now. You might be thinking to yourself, I'm better than that. I can quit half my processed food at once. Or I've used this exact analogy with a friend who's trying to get into the gym, and they think I gave the advice of start 1 time a week and just do 20-minute workouts. Start with the minimum base and then work up from there. And he thinks, oh yeah, I'm too good for that. Like a fucking idiot. And then, wow, 3, 6, 9 months later, he doesn't work out because he didn't listen to my advice. Don't be like my friend. Start slowly and build on that slowly. Be humble and you'll be fine. Now, let's understand something else. Let's move on. When you go to the doctors, you're treated for some sort of sickness or something. You want the doctor to treat your disease. You don't want him to treat your symptoms. You want him to treat the disease, because otherwise your symptoms are going to keep coming up regardless of the medicine. It's just going to be a waste of time. You want the root cause fucking solved, don't you? It's the same with processed food. What I just said, that solves the symptoms, but now we're going to deep dive. But now we're going to dive deep into the root cause, which will unfortunately make you a bit uncomfortable, and I'll have to get a bit vulnerable with you. But is what it is. We're trying to actually help make progress and not just give band-aid solutions. This is the proper shit that actually makes the biggest changes. So likely processed food or junk food, binge eating are a coping mechanism, because you have an unmet emotional need in your life and you're using junk food, binge eating as a coping mechanism. And you need to work to figure out what it's trying to replace, and you need to work to fill that void. What are you actually lacking? For me personally, great, lovely, get to be vulnerable with you. Anyway, I've had a distinct lack of intimate relationships in my life with the opposite sex. So never had a girlfriend at 22 years of age, and as a result, you can imagine how that makes me feel. A deep unmet emotional need, and to cope from everything that says about me, I need a coping mechanism. That coping mechanism was for me junk food and binge eating. It's because the pain of this emotional need not being met is so high that I need something to cope from it. And junk food has filled that void per se. And what I've done in recent years to solve this, I've figured out, okay, my coping mechanism is because I don't have fucking love. I'm not good with the opposite sex. Okay, let's fucking work on solving that. Let's make a plan, let's make a goal, let's work towards it. And then I won't need this coping mechanism as a result of that. So then, as a result, I went out a few times a week, made a goal to actually learn about women, learn what they want, watch some actual videos on it, because I don't have experience in this. Need to watch some videos, learn about it, learn about what to say, what to do, because I'm fucking useless in this domain. Then as a result, I love saying as a result, anyway, I went out a few times a week, cold approach girls. I probably cold approached over 100 girls now. I built insane amount of confidence from doing this. It's the hardest thing in my life I've done. Done this, I haven't got a girlfriend yet, but the amount of confidence and close I've gotten to filling this emotional need and just acknowledging it has made me so much less dependent on these coping mechanisms, and it just allows me to quit the habit. And back to this, I literally don't actually doubt in myself that in the next 3, 6, 9 months, that if I don't give up, there's no way I don't get a girlfriend. It's just because of who I've become, the opportunities that will likely arise from me taking the same actions. It's basically a foregone conclusion. There we go, can't fucking speak. So, yeah, it's very hard to actually have a deep, introspective look at yourself, figuring out what you're actually missing. And then make a goal, set a plan, and actually try to fix it. As I have done with my lack of love. There's also a good little model for this, actually. It's Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Maslow's hierarchy says at the first stage, it's having your physiological needs taken care of, your shelter, food, water, things like that. And then your next stage is love, relationships, friendship, camaraderie, things like that. And if you don't have all of that taken care of, you're going to not be able to work on other things. Down on the fifth step is actualization, working on your purpose, things like that. You're not going to be able to work hard on your purpose if you don't have like the prior stages of it, like taken care of. So you need to figure out, what the fuck do you have to work out? So you do need to take an introspective look at yourself, figure out what you lack, make a plan, make a goal, and work towards it. And a big key of this whole thing, to get you started, you need to acknowledge it. You need to acknowledge, I'm lacking. And you can't just unconsciously, because right now you're unconsciously using junk food, processed food, binge eating as a coping mechanism. You don't even realize you're doing it. You need to bring conscious attention, shine light on what the deeper reason is. And I can basically guarantee you that there is a reason. Start journaling, figuring out, think about it, and you'll find a solution, as I did, I believe now. So now we've solved the symptoms behind it. We've solved one of the core underlying reasons behind the disease, that is processed food. Now we're going to make quitting just easier. So I want you to set up your life in a way that your emotions aren't actually ruling and like controlling your life. What do I mean? Okay, well, first off, whenever I get poor sleep, how do I react? I get poor sleep. As a result, I feel like I have no energy, feel like shit, can't be bothered doing anything. Okay, what's likely to be a result as of this? Okay, I'm likely to engage in bad habits, watch porn, jerk off, play video games. What's the result of this? Well, binge eating, junk food. And it all stems from this first thing. I got poor sleep, bad habit, and now I engage in my addiction. Can you see how just one bad decision, one poor aspect unoptimized in your life can just create rippling effects that will make quitting processed food much harder. It's not just sleep. If you spend all your time on social media, your brain's just addicted to scrolling and all of the comparisons. What's going to happen? Okay, your brain's fucked, no energy, you hate yourself. Now, what happens as a result? You're more likely to engage in the bad habit. There's a bunch of things that you engage in that makes it so much more likely to actually engage in the bad habit. And then there are things you can do, like exercising, that makes it far less likely that you're going to engage in the habit. If you, say, work on your purpose, go exercise, and then go have fun with your friends, motherfucker, do you think you're going to want to binge? No, because you like your life. You are in control of your emotions and you just enjoy shit. You're not going to want to binge at that point. So, this isn't a short-term solution by any means. You need to work to make your life actually enjoyable. You need to like your life and cut out bad habits. And actually, it's kind of like this. Picture two houses built on different foundations. So one's built on a sandy foundation that looks like it's going to crumble at any time, and one's built on rock, firm, solid foundation. When a wave comes into the sandy foundation's house, it crumbles the entire house, doesn't it? That wave is you get a slight feeling of loneliness, something bad happens to you, get caught up in traffic. Literally any negative happens and that entire foundation just blows over, and then you'll revert to the bad habit. Or in the case of the firm brick rock foundation, that is building the house on good habits, exercise, good sleep. Now when a wave comes in, the house is fine. It doesn't crumble. You don't give in to the bad habit. To quit processed food or any addiction, you need to be able to survive the emotional highs and lows. You might feel good for 80% of the time, but if you get to an emotional low point where you just can't deal with shit, then you're going to give up and use binge eating and junk food and all this shit as the coping mechanism, as to make yourself feel good. Like, say, this also happened to me in the past. I would have poor sleep, I'd overeat. So this was when I was trying to quit porn. I would have poor sleep, I would eat junk food, all the brain fog, no energy, I feel like shit, my emotions are spiraling downwards, sandy foundation, and I go watch porn. But the house is blown down. And now I've reverted and failed. You have to build your house on rock, not sand. Which means you need to live a life you lead full of cutting out bad habits like TikTok, scrolling, social media, video games, even like TV shows at some points. Okay, as long as it's not like multiple hours, maybe an hour or two is what it is. But yeah. And then you can build the rock by having solid foundations. Sleeping, exercising, social connection, working on purpose, working on goals, things like that. And also, two like bonus little things, I guess. Avoid negative people like the plague, because they're just going to infect your personality, make you more negative by default, and just bring your life down. Avoid negative people the best you can. And also give your brain time to think and process. The amount of people that are constantly doing something every minute of every day, and then when they try to sleep, they just can't because their brain is activated, or just the brain can't like emotionally regulate, because you need just dedicate like 20 minutes to just sitting by yourself and allowing your thoughts to process. It's such like an underrated thing. People just don't have time for their thoughts. No wonder I know people that like hate their thoughts, hate their own brain, because you just don't sit with them. Just sit with your thoughts, notice them, just exist. It's not that hard, it's not scary, you'll be right. And yeah, this should give you a complete picture of how to quit the bad habit. And yeah, if you need any more help, I have a Discord in the description. Join that and I'll be able to personally help you out, give you some tailored advice for free, because why not? And yeah, anyway, that's the video. Actually, before I end the video, another good habit. I want you to answer this. What is one thing you're currently grateful for? I'm currently grateful for, what am I grateful for? I'm grateful for the microphone behind me. It's a good microphone that records at decent quality. Yeah, literally simple, can be big, can be simple, big. Anything you're grateful for, just say it, feel good. Write down in the comments, say it out loud. And yeah, because gratitude is such a cornerstone habit in my life. Raises my happiness base level and makes it easier to quit anything bad habit wise. So that's the video. Thanks for watching. Like, sub, helps me a lot. And yeah, take care.